Coming up today, gymnast and internet sensation Katelyn Ohashi.
We take to the skies for the Paragliding World Championships.
Superstar of world athletics, Allyson Felix.
Plus, we hit the Great Ocean Road in Australia. Last month, the world's best speedway riders headed to a rainy Vojens in Denmark, knowing that someone's dreams of championship glory would be washed away with just 3 races left to go. The home crowd were rooting for Danish rider Leon Madsen, who was joint top of the table heading into the meet with Poland's Bartosz Szmartlik.
I'm not looking particularly at Bartek. You know, there are still, I think, 4 other riders who can join the battle for the championship.
All season battle with him, and yes, but I'm all looking only for myself, and we'll see what happened the last round.
Placed just 7 points behind the table toppers in third, Russia's Emil Sayfutdinov won 3 of the heats to qualify for the first semi-final. He was well placed to make an assault on the overall lead, but 2017 world champion Jason Doyle was among the riders looking to deny him a place in the final in Vojens.
Big favourite, Emil Sayfutdinov, he goes off the inside. Whoa. What a start from Jason Doyle in the blue helmet colour. That was simply magnificent. Now, Sayfutdinov is on the inside run. Is that the right thing to do with Zagar diving into the turn? Whoa. Oh, Matti Zagar, look at him go!
What a move from Zagar! Round the outside! Sayfutdinov there on the inside of Doyle, best race of the night! Doyle, you've got a feel for him, he's gone from first to third. Zagar, that was spectacular. Top draw right from him. Emil Sayfutdinov was having to ride like his life depended on it there. What a move from Zagar!
I can't believe it. Goodness me, just went into the dirt and it hooked up beautifully. The bike, and Doyle's not done. Here it comes, Jason Doyle. Doyle's trying the dirt. Doyle's trying the outside run, but Emil Sayfutdinov has got speed, and it looks like our first 2 finalists in Vojens are Matti Zagar and Emil Sayfutdinov.
What a semi-final!
Sayfutdinov finished in the top 2, which moved him up into second in the overall leaderboard after Leon Madsen failed to make it out of the heats. Table topper Bartosz Szmartlik was in the hunt for more points to stretch clear of Sayfutdinov in semi-final 2.
Another big lineup. Szmartlik, of course, on the inside, an opportunity to stretch the lead in the World Championship. Desperate to make the final.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Szmartlik all right, and he's made a beauty. Bartosz Szmartlik from gate number 1. Now Wolff jostling for positions with Freddie Lindgren. It's Martin Vasilek at the back. Now Szmartlik, surely he's not going to make any mistake here as Lindgren tries the inside run now, piling the pressure on. But Bartosz Szmartlik, my goodness, it looks like he's heading to the final here, Cal.
He is indeed. Superb first corner from Szmartlik. Didn't panic, held the inside, got the grip, and has got himself to the front. Freddie's there in second, pushing hard, whipping them from the outside. Vasilek, well, his form actually, he's just petered away. Just run out of steam this evening, that's for sure. Szmartlik out in front, looking like a finalist so far. Can Wolff do anything about Lindgren? I don't think so. Looking good for Szmartlik and Lindgren here.
Well, this is going to be a big result for Bartosz. This is going to put him onto the 100-point mark. Bartosz Szmartlik now is going to take the checkered flag, and it's Szmartlik and Lindgren into the final. And Bartosz Szmartlik is now 6 clear of Emil Sayfutdinov and 8 clear of Leon Madsen, going into the final here. And look what it means to Bartosz Szmartlik. That's a huge result, and he knows it. So here in Vojens, Denmark, it is the final of the Danish FIM Speedway Grand Prix, and it is a huge moment as well. Bartosz Szmartlik off the inside, Emil Sayfutdinov off the outside as well. A win for Szmartlik, and he would be well clear of Leon Madsen in third. He'd be 11 clear of him. Sayfutdinov, though, he's off the outside. He'll have something to say about that.
Definitely.
And Matti Zagar on the rostrum in Tetro 7 days ago.
Yeah, 2 consecutive finals.
Lindgren a winner in Melilla.
Yeah, top form here from all
Decent
these guys.
final.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a red-hot final and a really difficult one to call.
The grand final here in Boyens. Who's going to get into that first turn? Smarslik's kept his cool. That's a textbook start from Bartosz Smarslik. But now, watch out for Lindgren. Oh! Lindgren just has to lock the bike up to avoid Zegar. But I'll tell you what, Bartosz Smarslik is super quick here. Sayfutdinov trying desperately to nick a point off Lindgren here. It's Zegar second. This is a huge moment for Bartosz Smarslik. He's going to move on to 103 points, and he could well be taking a 9-point lead to Cardiff in a fortnight's time.
Wow, this is incredible stuff. Smarslik superb away from the inside, looking great out in front. Emil Sayfutdinov the outside gate did not work. Got himself in all sorts of problems and finds himself out the back. Going to miss out on the rostrum at this rate. Got to say, Smarslik, wow. Certainly, this is going to be a defining moment in the championship chase.
Bartosz Smarslik is on his way to victory here in Boyens, the first Grand Prix back here in 5 years. And Bartosz Smarslik is dominating the World Championship now with 2 rounds to go. It's all over to Sayfutdinov and Madsen to try and catch him from here.
Yes, I feel amazing because after 5 racing, not so feel very good. But the final and semi-final, this is my racing, and I'm very happy because the 3rd time this season win in GP, so this is, for me, it's unbelievable.
A great night then for Bartosz Smarslik, who finished top of the podium on the night and top of the leaderboard. So just 2 races left, 7 riders still in with a chance of victory, but one hand on the trophy for Bartosz Smarslik.
And now it's time for our sporting question. This week, the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships get underway in Stuttgart in Germany. One of the young gymnasts to look out for will be Giorgia Vila. The 16-year-old Italian won 3 gold medals in the all-around, vault and floor in the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires last year and will be hoping to step up to challenge the likes of Simone Biles at the Worlds. After that, her focus will turn to Tokyo in 2020.
Gymnastics is my life and it's my passion too. The best thing about the sport is that when you put the effort in, you can achieve your goals. Since taking up gymnastics, I've set my own goal, to one day compete at the Olympic Games.
Earlier this year, Giorgia placed 6th in the European Championships, her first major championship, despite breaking her finger and subsequently not training in the lead-up to the event. And Italian gymnastics gives us the subject to our question. We want you to name the last Italian to win gold in the World Artistic Gymnastic Championships. We'll bring you the answer later in the show.
The taunting that never ends when you go in for a bite. That one thing that tastes so good but doesn't feel so right. So that one bite goes untaken. That food is to be forsaken. Feeling so weak, my bones are breaking. But if I bite, I'll be mistaken. And in the morning, I'll reawaken, hating myself all over again when I look in the mirror. But that image today has never been clear. I've been consumed with the thought that bigger is synonymous to less than, that only those with the perfect bodies have the right to stand. But here today, I stand, with a love that penetrates deeper than any wedding band. Because I am my own size, and no words or judgmental stares will make me compromise. For the bittersweet satisfaction that lays within my eyes and my thighs, I finally got my cake and ate it too, for my old self cries. And today, my self-hatred says its goodbyes.
Katelyn Ohashi is more than just a gymnast. The 22-year-old from Seattle found fame after a video of her performing a perfect 10 floor routine at the 2019 Collegiate Challenge went viral, attracting celebrity attention, a media frenzy, and more than 117 million social media views. Now in her final year at UCLA, Katelyn is still reveling in the world's reaction to her famous routine.
Never did I ever imagine that if it went viral, it would be to this extreme. I competed on like Saturday, I think they posted it that night, and then Sunday is when my phone was like blowing up, and I was like, like I was just putting it down. I felt like I couldn't get on social media for a couple days.
UCLA's tweet received 170,000 retweets and nearly 50 million views, making Katelyn's routine the most watched sports video of 2019 so far.
I think I had 200-something thousand followers before I went viral. So going viral, it did add a lot, and it was kind of crazy. Like you'd refresh and the number would just like appear times 1,000, and so we're like, what? I don't typically get notifications, but it kept going. And I was like, what is happening right now? And I don't think I checked it until I got home later that night, and I refreshed my page, and it was like 50,000 followers like up, and just, people were screenshotting celebrities or like retweeting it and like commenting on it, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is it? It was, yeah, very, very cool, but like just strange experience altogether.
Katelyn is not unfamiliar with the social media spotlight. During her time at UCLA, she has achieved 11 perfect 10 routines on bar, beam, vault, and floor. As well as numerous awards, she has also received widespread acclaim for her bold and unconventional style. But for Katelyn, the pressure of competing is not the only challenge she has faced in her life.
I started getting body shamed at a pretty young age. It started when I was like 14, and not even from the internet. It was mostly people that were really close to me and like close to my heart, and so it was a really big impact.
With the widespread attention on Katelyn, both praise and criticism were amplified.
When the routine went viral, obviously you still see it happening from like, oh, like her body is deformed, or what happened to like the long, tall, skinny. But I do like to speak out on that because I think it's something that every female goes through, and every person in general. Like I've had a lot of people relate to me, whether they're male, female, old, young, like everyone's kind of gone through body shaming and can relate.
Away from gymnastics, Katelyn has discovered a new way of articulating her message of female empowerment.
When I was going through a really rough time in my life, that's when poetry was kind of introduced to me in one of my classes in high school. So I started writing back then, and I remember it came so naturally. Writing has kind of helped me really get all my emotions onto a piece of paper and get people, it's really powerful. Like there's one thing to say a message, but to be able to articulate it with minimal words and ones that rhyme or whatnot, I think it's cool.
Katelyn developed her viral video routine with the help of her coach, former UCLA Bruins head of gymnastics, Valorie Kondos Field, or as she is more affectionately known, Miss Val.
Jump. Awesome. Slide. Here we go. It's gonna be fabulous. Our sport has been in a drought of joy. And this new crop of gymnasts and the new regime is starting to foster that joy. And the fact that Katelyn became the beacon of what joyful, competitive, championship-style gymnastics could be is what I think the world was craving at that time.
Now Katelyn's time at UCLA has come to an end, she is looking to find other ways to influence girls going through the same issues she has.
This is how I want to use my platform and the voice that I do have, and I want to make people feel like they're not alone when they're going through weird struggles and health issues and things like that, because I've been there and I felt super alone, and I feel like social media is a thing that we only portray one side in one image of ourselves, one that we don't mind showing to the world, and I'd like to show my full self. I am my own size, and no words or judgmental stares will make me compromise. I finally got my cake and ate it too, for my old self cries. And today, my self-hatred says its goodbyes.
The 16th World Paragliding Championship, organised under the flag and rules of Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, took place for the very first time in Kruševo, North Macedonia.
Yeah.
150 of the world's best pilots from 48 nations battled it out for the coveted title of the Paragliding World Champions. In recent years, the town of Kruševo has established itself as one of the best free-flight competition areas in the world due to its perfect topology, stable wind and weather conditions. The pilots are confronted with 10 competition tasks and have to conquer 947 kilometers in distance, flying over mountains and flat terrain, reaching speeds up to 60 kilometers an hour and heights up to 3,000 meters. The daily task courses are always set according to the day's weather forecasts. The goal of each competition task is to solve a predetermined course of anything up to 200 kilometers. The paraglider who has the most accumulated points after the last task is crowned world champion.
Yeah, 35 minutes to start. Then it's full-on gaggle race mode for 2 or 3 hours. Yeah.
Previous world champion Honorin Hamard started well in Kruševo, but began to lose time and points at the end of the first day.
I still can do one podium. Third or second, I can do first, but third or second, I have 20, between 20 and 30 points. So it's like 2 or 3 minutes, so it's possible. So I think if I have one occasion, I will attack. And by team, we are just also 30 points behind the Italian team. And the third place is far, so normally we can still keep our second place and maybe try to go to third the first place.
Gleb Sukhotdky from Russia was another hugely impressive flyer, and despite not winning a single task, he achieved a total score of 7,118 points, just 2 points off first place.
I always fly with the guys who fly well. We work as a team, and I think that today was exactly the same day as usual. It was no different for me from yesterday, in terms of how we flew and with who we marched together in the air. It was a very interesting task, because at some point we were, in the end, well, not exactly in the end, but we sagged. We thought that we would be at the bottom of the group table. Then, suddenly, as a miracle, we found a strong wind flow and we went forward thanks to our pilots, who set the pace. We finally reached the main group, accelerated and arrived here.
It would be the Italian Joachim Oberhauser who, after leading the competition for the final few days, was finally able to confirm his victory, becoming the new FAI World Paragliding Champion.
So it was a difficult day, it was a difficult competition, all days flying a lot and some different conditions. Today was quite difficult because all the group of the leaders was there. And finally it works well, even with the team result I think it works well. And see you next competition.
In the women's category, Meryl Delferriere from France dominated the field, winning 6 out of 10 tasks. However, a mistake in task 7 put her chances of a win in jeopardy.
Yes, I don't know at all, in fact. There was somebody who finished way ahead of me today. So yes, the podium. I think I'm the first woman, but among the boys, I'm not sure whether I was in the top 10. I hope I'll end in first place. That would be gratifying. I don't know at the moment. I think I'll be happy with whatever.
That mistake wasn't enough to deny Delferriere, who claimed the title, finishing over 100 points clear of Switzerland's Yael Margalich in second and Australian Carrie Ellis in third.
I tend to use the same shower in the locker rooms during the week, and I often take the balls from the same bulkhead when I go to serve. I like a good bit of fish. Yeah, a good bit of fish. My career highlight is, I think, reaching world #1 in the individual rankings in doubles. I mean, the 2 best players I played with were Bruno Suarez and John Peers for sure. Both very different players, but both had great success on the doubles court. Yeah. Andy, I was never really into him that much. Football Manager, that was it. Game of Thrones, Line of Duty. Yeah, it's a song called, I was listening to the car on the way over here called Body. Don't even know who sings it, but it's I've listened to it about 50,000 times I think in the last 2-3 months. Not really, don't often listen to music before playing, just kind of, don't know, do my warm-up and just kind of like, I don't know, visualise sort of what I want to happen on the court. Be able to fly, sure. Perfect for my job. Had some odd stuff in Japan. Can't quite remember exactly what, but I mean the fans are amazing there. They're always like giving you little gifts and stuff, but yeah, it's always a bit different, I'd say. Don't know if I have any skill. Play golf a bit. Not like getting on the tour anytime soon, but reasonably skillful.
once that putt dropped, my whole life changed, and I'm so thankful to be out here.
20-year-old American Matthew Wolff certainly entered professional golf with a bang. The winner of this year's NCAA individual title with Oklahoma State only turned pro in June, but just 6 weeks later he won the 3M Open in only his third start on the PGA Tour.
Still really hasn't sunken in yet, the win. It's awesome though. I mean, it's a dream come true, like I said. It was definitely something that I wasn't expecting to happen so early, but I was, about, I think 26 feet away is what they said. I was right up against the collar, so kind of had to take a little sharper angle down at the ball and get good contact. But me and my caddy Steve talked about a spot that we wanted to roll over, and got the speed down, and felt confident with the line. And I kind of just told myself, I was made for moments like these, and not a lot of putts were going in that day, so I kind of just told myself, about one's about to drop, and hit the putt, and it looked good the entire way. And like you've seen, I didn't really see it go in. I was pretty sure that it was going in about a foot out, and turned and screamed, and I still get the chills talking about it every time.
Following his maiden victory at TPC Twin Cities in Minnesota, Wolff received messages of congratulations from some legends of the game, capping off what has already been a life-changing experience.
So Nick Price texted me, which was pretty unbelievable. Greg Norman texted me, like I said, Jack Nicklaus tweeted at me, Justin Thomas tweeted at me. There was quite a few, but just to play, in that tournament, especially, I played with Tom Lehman Saturday, who's a legend down there, and not only in Minnesota, but in the game of golf. It was a really cool experience for that to happen, and still soaking it all in. It's a lot to take in, obviously. My world ranking jumped a lot. I think it was one of the biggest jumps in history is what they were saying. And, it's nice to have that under your belt, the tour card and the 2 years. And I get into the Masters next year and the Players and the PGA Championship. And there's a lot of things to take in that I'm really grateful for. But my goal is to be the #1 player in the world. And there's a lot of people who are going to stand in the way of that, like Brooks and all these guys at the top right now. But one win didn't get them there. They won multiple times, and was really consistent, and that's the biggest thing for me. Just like I said, I'm still celebrating the win, and it's really it's a relief to get my tour card, but I'm still looking to go out there and contend this week and contend every week I play out here, and get a lot more wins.
Wolff was only playing in the 3M Open on a sponsors exemption, but he won't be needing those again for the time being, with his win securing his PGA Tour card for the next 2 years.
It helps a lot, and not only does it help just by winning, but also it gets me into a lot of the WGCs and the bigger tournaments where all these top players are. And if I, play the way I know I can and contend in these bigger tournaments, that's going to help me a lot. And I think I'm just going to take it one tournament at a time, not get too far ahead of myself. But like I said, I'm just really happy for all the opportunities that I've been getting, and I'm looking to take advantage of them.
Next year, Wolff will also play in the Masters, fulfilling a lifelong dream for the American.
Been, watching the Masters since I was a little kid, and to be able to, know that I'm going to play in it, and I'm sure it really still hasn't sunken in yet, but I know that once I get that mail or the letter in the mail, congratulating me on being in the Masters field, it's going to probably be a little emotional and something that I've looked forward to for my entire life.
Since he first started playing, Matthew has also been known for his unorthodox swing. Some people may have pointed out its flaws, but with this win, Wolff has already proved them wrong.
Yeah, there's definitely been criticisms in the past. There's people who said, not that they've changed it or, told me I should, but they said if you come to me, I'll definitely make you a more consistent player and stuff, and change a few things in your swing. And to me, I never really wanted to change it. It worked since I was I've been really young, and it's continued to work. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. And luckily, I found my coach in high school, George Genkus, who I've been going to him for about 7 years now, and he's worked with my swing, made me the player I am today, and I'm fortunate to have him on my team. I hope I got that message across, because it's well, my motto is swing or swing, and that's kind of what I've always done, and I hope a lot of the younger generation just do what they know is comfortable and swing their swing.
Matthew certainly has some fine examples to follow as he starts his professional career, having seen other players such as Jordan Spieth find success at a young age on tour.
Well, that's always the thought. Seeing those guys win is pretty, gives you a lot of confidence knowing that they were the same age as me, and they had the same amount of experience, which is really cool to see. But I believed that in myself before I saw those guys. I knew that I was one of the best players, or could be one of the best players in the world, and I proved that in amateur golf, and now I'm ready to prove it in the pro ranks.
The World Athletics Championships are currently underway in Doha in Qatar. Since making her debut in Paris in 2003, Allyson Felix had won a record 17 medals, 12 of which had been gold. Doha is her 9th consecutive appearance at the Worlds. Allyson has inspired many women, particularly mothers, by making it to the championships in the first place. In November 2018, the 33-year-old gave birth to her first child, Cameron, via emergency caesarean section. Cameron had to be delivered 8 weeks prematurely, as Allyson was suffering from severe preeclampsia, a condition that can be fatal as it causes the organs to shut down. In winning the mixed 4x4 relay in Doha, Allyson won her 12th championship gold, and in doing so, overtook Usain Bolt's tally of 11.
Relays are so much fun, and it's great to be a part of a team effort, but there's really something about doing it by yourself and just the years of hard work and sacrifice that, when it finally comes together, it's definitely a different feeling.
Allyson only started competing in the 400 metres seriously in 2015, having achieved most of her success in the 100 and 200. She narrowly missed out on a gold in the discipline at the Rio Olympics a year later, after Shawnee Miller-Weeble fell over the line just ahead of her. Making the transition to the distance was an initial challenge for Allyson, but she competed in both 400-metre relays in Doha.
400 is just an event that doesn't come easy for me. I think I love to go fast. I'm a sprinter. I've always, loved the 100, loved the 200, and really loved that technique of it. And the 400 is such a strategy race. It's a race you have to be patient, you have to trust your fitness, your endurance, and it's just a completely different beast. And so I think that, I love the challenge of it. I love to see if I can put it all together, but it's not like the sprints at all for me.
Allyson competed alongside Christian Coleman for Team USA. Christian missed 3 drugs tests between June 2018 and April 2019. He was initially issued a year suspension, but the charges against him have since been controversially dropped due to technicalities over the dates. We spoke to Allyson before the Coleman scandal came to light to get her thoughts on doping in the sport.
As a clean athlete, I can say that it is very frustrating. You're working so hard, and there's definitely people who are cheating the system. And it's time and time again. And so after a while, yeah, definitely, it's hard to deal with. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like strict rules, you have to hit hard at people so that they will know. And I'm all for educating young people so that they know that there is a different road to go down, and they don't have to, have these doping issues.
Allyson has long been the face of athletics, holding multiple long-term sponsorship deals. However, at the end of July, she split from sports apparel company Nike due to maternity clauses in her contract. The company wanted to reduce her salary by an alleged 70% following the birth of her child. The American has since signed with Athleta and launched a #PowerOfShe campaign with the company. For her brother and manager Wes, it's so important to have sponsors on board that support Allyson and let her do her talking on the track.
it is a challenge. We're fortunate that Allyson has really great partners, and so they try to make it as easy as possible, and you know, their goal is her winning too, but they need what they need, and so we just work really hard to find ways to not compromise her training in any way. The running, the training, that's always priority number one, and we're fortunate to have sponsors who agree with us on that.
The only female track and field athlete to win 6 Olympic gold medals, and having increased her medal tally in Doha, Allyson will now have her eyes firmly set on making the US team for a 5th consecutive Olympics in Tokyo 2020.
As a competitor, as an athlete, you want to win. You know, that's what being successful is. I think that at this point in my career, I can definitely embrace the journey. I can definitely feel different going into this game than other ones. You know, I can appreciate the process more, and so I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely having fun with just preparing. So to me, that's going to be success in itself, you know, just trying to get there. But of course, you know, the end goal is to win everything, every event that I would be able to make it in.
Earlier in the show, we asked you to name the last Italian to win gold at the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships. The answer is Vanessa Ferrari, who was the world all-around champion in 2006.
I went there to do well. It's difficult to say whether I expected it or not. Everyone wants to win, so when you get there, you have to give it your all, because you know the others will be giving their all. I performed the best on the day, and I won.
Now aged 28, the 4-foot 8-inch Italian has won 5 medals in total at the championships. Her gold in 2006 came in her first year on the senior circuit, a feat that will inspire compatriot Giorgia Vila in this year's World Championships. Vanessa will miss this year's World Championships due to an ankle injury, and in her absence, 16-year-old Giorgia Vila will be hoping to bring home a medal for Italy.
My name's Tracy Gaudry, and I'm a member of the Management Committee of the UCI, and I'm the President of the UCI Women's Commission. As a member of the Management Committee of the UCI, we look around the world at locations, you know, topography, terrain, countryside, safety, the interest in the local community. And Victoria has got so many of those ingredients. And the state government of Victoria demonstrated that they were committed to cycling, not just at the elite level, but in the grassroots level.
The Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Race is the biggest one-day race outside of Europe and has become the new favourite at the start of the road cycling season, with both male and female UCI races taking place. Transworld Sport travelled along the route to see why it's a perfect place for a ride. Our first stop is the city of Geelong.
I was, several decades ago, a budding young cyclist brought up in Geelong, and Geelong was the training ground for the development of what became a professional cycling career.
I'm a bicycle frame manufacturer from Geelong. I've been doing it for around about 44 years. We used to do the ride on the Saturday before Cadel's race. We'd call it old school Saturday, and we'd all get out on old school bikes, and I remember we got mixed up in the group that were doing the longer ride. Matt White was up there and he says, I don't know what's going on here. There's Eddie Merckx bikes, steel bikes, Francesco Moser steel bikes, there's steel bikes everywhere. He couldn't believe it. There's several well-known cyclists that live around Geelong. Yeah, it's got a really rich history in cycling. Phil Anderson, he was the first Aussie to wear the yellow jersey for the Tour de France. Cadel Evans, he's down in Barwon Heads.
We started Fuel in 2010, and it was sort of a mix of running my own business and obviously a passion for cycling, a little bit of a man cave with a coffee machine as a bonus. I think the location that we have close to the Melbourne main city, let alone the Great Ocean Road, it's such a great pivotal location that is easy access. Nationally, internationally, and a good mix of scenery and climate.
For those who have been a spectator or watched on television the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Ride, there is a steep, short hill called Shallambra Crescent. As an athlete at the peak of their game, it's one of those challenging climbs that if you're in form, you're going to do a lot of damage.
Shallambra, that's quite a challenge for the local cyclists. Everybody has their Garmins and Strava and all that sort of thing, and they can look and see who's doing it, and then bang, they're trying to beat them.
Yeah, it's a testing climb that is within access of anyone to do at any time of the day, which is, being a public road, you know, most other days of the year, it's open to options.
Next, we move east to Bellarine, just off the race route. Known for its wine, it's still a very popular area with cyclists.
Jackrabbit, as it is, was formed in 2010 when David and Lindsay Sharp bought the property off our neighbours. We've got a really nice, relaxed, fine dining restaurant here, and we're also a very casual cafe. On the weekends and over the summer, the roads are clogged with lots of cycling groups. They come up here in all their cycling gear, and yeah, it's really good. It's a good feel for the place, and it's a good look.
For our third stop, we head back to the World Tour course, stopping in Surf City, Torquay.
Torquay is the ultimate outdoor lifestyle. You're either surfing at the surf beach, hanging out on the family beaches, wandering around very, very open streets. So bike riders love being in Torquay.
My name is Craig Baird. I'm the curator here at the Australian National Surfing Museum. The Bells event is the longest continuously running surfing event anywhere in the world. Added to that is the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Race, and it's yet another sporting event that's run here that's on a significant level. The Shire has a focus on events, and obviously basing them in an area that's both famous and picturesque means that it'll capture people's imaginations.
Further down the coast, we travel to Bells Beach, home of the Bells Beach Rip Curl Pro Surfing competition, and popular too with budding cyclists.
Yeah, around here we've got lots of hills. Yeah, we've also got lots of nice flats around the ocean and out in the forest as well. Out in the Golden Plains is quite different as well.
I think we're doing one of the favorite routes, yeah. Going here, straight to the beach, and then go back through the hills, and Forest Road, and then back to Mauriac and through the hills. Yeah, the Great Ocean Road Races. It's a good route, yeah.
Further along the Great Ocean Road, we divert from the race route again to the picturesque town of Lorne.
Movida is an iconic Melbourne restaurant. It's modern Australian interpretation of Spanish food with an accent on fresh local seasonal produce. Things like the cycling and the pier to pub, which brings people down, brings a whole different crowd up here. A lot of family focus, which is amazing. And then gives people who maybe hadn't had an opportunity to be exposed to Movida before a chance to enjoy the experience here with us. There's generally quite a young population down here in Lorne, and there's so much environment to explore here. Hiking up into the Otways, up through to Erskine Falls and the waterfalls. There's just so much to do here. It's amazing.
Our final stop is back in Geelong, where the local community, businesses and cycling enthusiasts reap the benefit of the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Race legacy throughout the year.
Having the Cadel race on, definitely see a lot more people coming into the area and exploring, getting to know Geelong, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's great. Victoria's a bit of a hub for cycling because Victoria, when you look at it, it's got so many fantastic pockets within the state that I can see would really appeal to cyclists. Like you've got up in the northeast, up in the high country there, beautiful vistas, the mountains, that sort of thing. Then there's obviously the surf coast down here and on the other side of the bay. So yeah, Victoria's got it all.
For the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Race to be re-awarded World Tour status for the men's race and awarded World Tour status for the women's race for the very first time means that the women's race will be the first ever Women's World Tour event in 2020, and for the first time putting female elite athletes on exactly the same pedestal as male elite athletes. There was nothing better than to go exploring the Surf Coast region, the Ballarat region, going down to Barwon Heads, down to Torquay, to Ocean Grove, and a little bit further afield to Lorne, for example, or even on a really big day down to Apollo Bay. When you think about that as a bike rider, it's almost like bike riding heaven. You know, you've got Great Ocean Roads, you've got some of the world's best coastline, and you've also got friendly locals and lots of great cafes to stop along the way. So there's a lot to be said for bike riding in the Geelong, Surf Coast and Ballarat region.